Okay.
A major development in the race for LA County District Attorney today. Former DA candidates and current Deputy District Attorneys John McKinney and Maria Ramirez throwing their support behind former federal prosecutor Nathan Hochman and his challenge of their current boss, George Gascón.
LA County Deputy DA John McKinney joins us now with more. John, good to see you.
Good to see you guys. Thanks for having me back in studio.
One of the things we've talked about before was you didn't talk much with George Gascón, you know, because you still work for him. He's the DA. He's your boss. And you do very high-profile cases. But you talked to him about this, right, and potentially endorsing him. Can you talk to us about that conversation?
Well, I had virtually no contact with him over 3.5 years that I worked as a deputy DA in major crimes, doing big cases. But after the election, we talked a little bit during the campaign at different events, but very small talk.
Yeah.
But after the election, it turns out he had a supporter, a very big supporter of his, who also liked me and some of the things that I was talking about. So that person got us together, and the DA was gracious with his time. He spent nearly 3 hours with me.
Wow.
Answered every question that I asked him, and you can imagine I had a lot of questions for him.
Yeah.
A lot of serious questions. And to his credit, he answered all of the questions, and it told me everything I needed to know if I had any doubt about whether I would support him or support Nathan Hochman.
What did it tell you?
It told me that I was going to support Nathan Hochman wholeheartedly.
Why is that?
You know, I take issue with a lot of the DA's policies. I have from the very beginning, like so many other experienced prosecutors, not just in LA County, but around the state. And what I looked for from him was some indication that he understood that his vision for the DA's office and the role of the prosecutor might have been skewed, that he might have to make some adjustments, and I didn't see it. I saw a man who showed no real humility, even in the fact that he only got 25% of the vote. I know there was a crowded field, but still he's the incumbent. I saw no humility. You know, I saw a person who seemed confident. He seemed very happy with how he did in the race. And my sense is if he's victorious in November, not only will he not adjust, he'll double down and become emboldened. And I don't think we can, well, I don't want to overstate it. I don't think that would be good for Los Angeles in the long run.
Well, obviously, you gave some thought in choosing Hochman to throw your support behind, and I know he was gracious with his time. How did that conversation go, and why do you think that he has what it takes to beat Gascón?
Well, I did talk to Nathan several times during the campaign. Didn't know him very well, but after his victory, we met for breakfast. We spent about 3 hours talking. I got to hear a little bit about his background, what he cares about, what his values are, and they were much more in line with what my values are and how I see the role of the DA in LA County. Now, this man has one of the most premium educations that you can have. He graduated from the Stanford School of Law. And although me and his father graduated from the UCLA School of Law, we'll give him a pass on Stanford. He's worked for the U.S. Attorney's Office for many years. He was appointed Assistant Attorney General by the President of the United States. He's worked as a private criminal defense attorney for 15 years. He worked on the LA Ethics Commission. He's done a lot of things. He has a great resume, unlike the current office holder, whose experience in the law was non-existent until he was appointed DA of San Francisco. So he's eminently qualified. I think his heart is in the right place. He wants the job for the right reasons. He's already reaching out to the nearly 800 deputy DAs to introduce himself and to learn from them what they think is important, things George Gascón never did.
So what is life like for you if Hochman's your boss compared to Gascón as your boss?
Well, I don't know. I really don't know, because my support for Hochman does not come with any strings attached. I haven't asked for anything. I don't expect anything except to be treated well, and I think we all deserve to be treated well. And I don't know what George Gascón's intentions are for me in the future. You know, I think he moved me out of major crimes because he felt threatened by a potential candidacy that would be heightened by the exposure of being on that stage. So he put me in the assignment that he did. Now, you know, once the election is over, what he'd do with me, I don't know.
Yeah. Do you think that you'd be moved back into major crimes if...
I don't think so.
No,
I think once you move out of a position like that, you rarely ever go back.
Let me ask you this. Your obviously didn't turn out the way you wanted to. But what's your takeaway from your campaign? What did you learn?
Well, I'm very proud of the campaign that I ran. I learned a lot about politics from a candidate's point of view, things that I didn't know before. I learned a lot about myself. You know, I have a skill set that I didn't even know I had before, some real leadership qualities that I've never had to use before. I learned a lot about people. I learned that most of the people in LA County are really pretty ignorant when it comes to the criminal justice system and how it works. And I don't mean that as a slight. I mean that as a concern that part of the role of the DA, I think, is to educate people about the system and what the DA's office is doing. And I told Nathan Hochman, you've got to lean into the idea that you're going to be more transparent than any DA in the past, that you're going to empower communities to connect to the DA's office so they can see firsthand what we're doing, so there's no mystery behind it, and they can't be misled about what we're doing.
And he learned that it's helpful to raise a lot of money.
And it's helpful to raise a lot of money.
Which Nathan Hochman raised the most, which allowed him to run the most ads.
LA County of 10 million people is larger than 40 states.
Right.
So running countywide here is like running statewide in most of the country.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time out to come in, and you knew you've had a long day with your
Thank you.
endorsement.
Thank
so
you
it's
for
good to see
having
you.
me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.